Broadcasting live from Sub-Basement 27 Studios in Hypercube's very own Hypercore. It's me, your friend, Dr. Fox, and it's time for the show, broadcasting live on freethinkradio.com, a website thing with music for people like you. Congratulations. You can join Time for the Show by heading over to freethinkradio.com and joining in on the Discord. Or, I don't know, there's not a Discord button on there. I keep meaning to say there's not like a Discord button that I saw. There might be now, but I don't think there was the last time that I looked. I don't know where the Discord button would be. But you can go to timefortheshow.com, click that Discord button. You can click that one. It'll put you in mine, take you to Hypercom. It's where we do all the magic. It's not magic, it's science. It's just such unbelievable science. People ascribe us to be like wizards. Dr. Cosmac, have you ever been accused of being a wizard? Are you
I don't know.
Are you Are you a magic American?
A magic American?
A magic American?
I thought I was just a sub-American. North American. I don't know.
Regional
Are you a wizard, Dr. Fox? I mean, I saw that Ralph Bakshi movie one time. It was okay, I guess.
Cartoons are like sorcery. They're not to be trusted.
Yeah, well, it's all just an artificially generated environment.
Animators are like magicians. You can't trust them. big heavy sighs? Were you up too late last night, stretching your
I
big
think I might have been.
finger?
I'm just relaxing here with a nice special ale that's about 11%.
A special ale.
I'm slightly sedated.
Just enough? You got enough?
Oh no, I've got plenty more that needs to be. It's medicinal, you know.
I've been nursing this bottle of apple juice, of Honeycrisp apple juice.
Ooh.
Just nursing it.
Is it like chili from the fridge still, or is it like
it's
all warm?
no. There's like little frozen clusters of apple juice near the top because it was just a little too cold. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Come have apple juice with me. That's what I propose. More time for apple juice.
Time for the apple juice.
Time for the apple juice. But it's all the way over in the refrigerator, and I'm here. So I have to wait till a song break until I can get apple juice. So I have to earn my apple juice. I can't just sit here and drink it. But I guess I'll have to get by because I also have a Dr. Pepper within our arm's reach. Look at that. So, yeah, I can at least go for something with 4 times the amount of sugar.
Where did Dr. Pepper get his medical degree?
I think it was, you remember the Alamo?
No. Was that in that Pee-wee movie? I forgot.
Alamo Bar and Grill.
Right.
It's the capital of Texas.
I thought that was in San Antonio or Dallas or something.
Generally, well, first off, you don't want to talk about Dallas, but San Antonio.
Well, nobody in their right mind would.
That's a rootin' tootin' high yippity ki-yay kind of land out there. There's cowboys out there. They're really there.
Yeah, and not all of them are gay.
No, those are the ones in the mountains.
Oh right, yeah, those are more the northwestern cowboys. I get my cowboys confused. I'm sorry, Dr. Fox.
It's not to say that there aren't gay cowboys in the San Antonio area. I'd never think of something like that. I would never say anything like that. I wouldn't want to disparage our demographic.
Our most precious national resource.
Come nurse this bottle of apple juice with me, San Antonio gay cowboys. This one's for you. I still have to get over there. Well, at least I know what song I'm going to put on the next next song break. I have to type it in.
20th Century Cowboy.
20th.
By the Gay Kinks.
By the Kinks.
Just the gay ones.
The ones that didn't show up to practice that day. Guess what?
The rootinest, tootinest, shootinest kinks of them all.
There, got it. Found it. With missing verse. Perfect.
Where's Peas?
So, I texted Peas via telephone. I don't know, I think 9:15. It's like, hey, buddy, you gonna do show? You gonna do some show? And he told me that no. And I said, well, you should get in anyway. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So he said he's not going to. He didn't say, but I get the impression that he doesn't want to. And now I think he's attempting to hurt my feelings by skipping out on the show.
Come on, dude. I can't believe Peas would deliberately try to hurt your feelings.
I don't know. Peas can be kind of malicious, He can be kind of mean. Most handsome boys
they say
can
there's a
be
bad
mean.
Pea in every pod.
You think he was mad because I didn't show up to last week's show? It's not my fault. Reverend Negative killed me.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Reverend Negative did kill me, but I got better, and I'm doing time for the show. But of course, I heard the show last week. At some point, I won't say when. But Pease was very frustrated that I was not there. He even said I was gonna call out tonight. I wasn't gonna do it, and I'm like, oh, Pease, and then he left. He did a good while. He did like an hour or so, but then he left. So
he left tonight.
Tonight he just didn't show up. Tonight he's just hiding. Pease didn't want to face me. He's mad at me.
He's not even in the internet.
Nope.
I don't see him on the internet.
He's out in the desert in his Jeep. That's what he's doing. Everybody knows what he's doing. Hey, come out here to the desert. I'm Pease.
He's out there shucking cactuses.
What does he do with all the discarded cactus needles?
The cactus husks. Well, them's good eating, Dr. Fox.
Cactus
it's not
smoothie.
Like corn. It's not like corn where you throw the husk away.
Have you had fresh cactus before? Have you ever? I forget what kind of cactus it was, but it was an edible cactus. It's a salad cactus, basically.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like.
It's a lot like grass.
Just tastes like fleshy vegetable, probably edible. Some of them. Pease is out gobbling cactuses, no doubt.
He's out there chewing on them. His lips all full of cactus sperms.
Yeah.
Running from the cops.
His Jeep.
He'll be that guy, he'll end up trying to sell like a bag of meth to some guy at the restrooms out in the middle of the restrooms. Look at me being polite. Out at the brick shit house by the highway.
He probably just took a bunch of peyote and then forgot to set the handbrake, and his Jeep rolled down into a ravine. And now he's just like stranded hundreds of miles from any kind of civilization, completely tripping balls.
Probably.
With a wrecked Jeep at the bottom of a 200-foot ravine. I'm just imagining this.
Maybe I just replaced that bumper.
It's a nice Jeep. Have you seen pictures of Pete's Jeep that he's shared with people? I've
seen a couple pictures of the Jeep. But I can tell you that it doesn't ring a bell in my mind so far as to like what color is the Jeep. Is it a red Jeep? I forget.
It's a white Jeep with a black cloth top.
I should look up Pease on Facebook.
It's got the soft top.
Oh, Pease. Goofy boy.
With like you can take it off and then you can fold the windshield down, and then there's like a thing on the hood to keep the windshield up, like from bumping into the hood. I was asking Pease what it was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's the thing that keeps the windshield from smacking the hood." Scrolling through what?
Just scrolling through Pease's Facebook. I'm just trying to be like, it's all pictures from years ago. Like I don't even know, because he's got like 3 Facebooks. So I don't even know if I'm looking at the right Pease.
I was talking to Pease about this computer game, Virtual Jeepin'.
Virtual Jeepin'?
Yeah, it's a game I made up. And I showed him some pictures, and he said that's not how you Jeep. So I guess I don't know.
Is he an expert?
We're not in his league. We're just a bunch of stupid gamers.
Hell, anybody can go out and buy a black belt and say that they're a karate master.
I have a black belt. It's like a woven leather one. It's kind of a 90s look.
Are you able to defend your honor? Are you with honor?
Yeah, I mean, I am wearing pants.
Barbarians wore pants. Men with honor wore tunics and togas and yogurts. Kilts. Men wore kilts.
So there's been plenty of these gay cowboy movies now, right?
How many of them?
Have there been gay? 7. Has there been the Gay Highlander movie?
Gay Highlander?
Gay Scotsman?
I think it was that sequel to the Inspector Gadget movie, right? with Matthew Broderick.
The one with Matthew Broderick? Yeah,
I think that's Gay Highlander.
That had Scots in it? I don't remember.
He's a Scot, isn't he? I forget it.
I only saw the first and the fourth
Designed
one.
by a Scottish scientist. How many Scottish heroes can you name?
Almost one. He's on the tip of my tongue.
Like a
not to give like a gay Scottish innuendo there, but
no, that one's an open. That's a polyamorous Scottish innuendo.
Scottish heroes. How about
it's a non-binary comment.
Well, I know Robert Burns, poet. I mean, I don't know if he's a hero.
Yeah, he was like on the BBC, right?
Yeah, in like 1750 or whatever.
Yeah, he had it down. So yeah, he's like a hero. There's a lot of heroes out there right now. They're going out there. They're on the front lines. They've got AK-47s and they're shooting bacteria down the streets. I do love that everywhere that I go, everything smells like bleach. It's a lot like
it's like taking a trip to the Marriott with your mom.
Yeah, or any water park. Any water park. Our water park is down here in the south. The water park becomes a bit of a staple, but I don't know. Is that really a thing up in your region? Do you have like seasonal water and aquatic?
We do have a few water-based attractions.
Where do you go for a water slide?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been on anything like that since probably 10 or 15 years.
I know, it's been a long time since I've been on a water slide.
But we do have Diggerland. Did I ever tell you about Diggerland, Dr. Fox?
Yeah, I saw a small documentary on it, actually, a few weeks ago. I'm like, Dr. Cosmac told me about this. And it was...
Yeah, I have a video up about it, too. I have a Christmas Diggerland video up that I made at Christmas.
Event. I know I've seen bits and pieces of it. I hadn't seen it was like the forklift that people were riding on, like they were like lifting one up and down.
I have onboard footage from that in my video. But yeah, it's basically a theme park, and you go and you pay like $30 or whatever, and you get in, and they let you operate machinery in a gigantic pile of dirt. So you got like your backhoes and your, earth moving equipment.
Do they have various forms of strata that you're able to interact with? Do they have like...
No, it's all just like the usual like red. It's just some kind of red dirt. It looks like ordinary New Jersey dirt.
Ordinary New Jersey dirt.
It's like reddy sandish dirt. Like it's down in the Pinelands, so it's kind of sandy.
They're just digging a big hole out there for fun.
Yeah, and they're making money hand over fist. And then you go through the gift shop to get out, and they have, models of every different kind of equipment you could want. I think all their equipment's JCB, so all the models are also JCB. They have some kind of product placement tie-in. Sorry, can I say brand names of construction equipment on here?
I think we can swing it. As we'll have to wait for Justin.
But anyway, it's a blast if you ever find yourself in southern New Jersey and
have
with your family or even on your own, and you just want to like move a bunch of dirt around with some heavy equipment, and you got $30 and a half a day. The worst ways to spend your time and money, and it's educational too.
You'll learn so much. You've taken away, so many heartfelt memories. What was your favorite piece of giant machinery?
Well, the centerpiece of the place is as you mentioned, it's basically, I think it's like a very large excavator, like an extremely large one, and they've bolted the tracks to like a base so it can't move, but it's the kind where it can rotate, and it's got like an arm with a big bucket on the end, and they've installed like roller coaster seats in the bucket. So you get into the bucket, you climb in this thing, it lifts you up about, I don't know, a good 40 or 50 feet in the air, and then the center part starts to just continuously rotate around. It's a little like being on one of those, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a carnival ride, but you're strapped into a giant piece of earth-moving equipment instead. It's really fun.
And it's a lot safer, I'd imagine, than something that's been put up overnight.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's all built to code. Everything is, perfectly in accordance with all the regulations governing the use of excavation equipment as carnival rides.
I was watching a video a few weeks ago about carnival rides. It's something that's always been kind of interesting to me.
What's your favorite, Dr. Fox?
My favorite?
Of the carnival rides. I mean the ones that are like portable, that show up at carnivals. I'm not talking about what you got at your Six Flags.
Yeah,
or your
exactly.
Disneyland.
This is something that's crap. Moving.
Something that is like, it packs down into a semi-trailer,
Exactly. And it was, I can't remember exactly which ride it was. It was a drop tower. And so it's footage. It was about 30 minutes of video. He claimed it was a time lapse. It was not. It was video just like sped up 1.75 times. So over half an hour or so, I'd say about 60 minutes. They park the trailer and they hook up the power. They clear the area that they're going to set up in. And they put a couple of blocks down and they drop with hydraulic feet onto a couple of concrete pads. And they raise up.
Sounds painful.
And everyone's just, they're all going like, go on, put your fingers in, like, go on, do it. No, it's safe. Well, nothing will happen. Go on, put your fingers in. And they're all pushing each other. And there's a lot of drinking going on during this because it's automated. They don't really have to pay attention. And the arms come out and it extends, and then a tower, a pylon is really why I was looking at it, because it was a self-erecting pylon.
Okay.
And it looks like the ladder truck ladder, if you know what I'm saying. The big mechanical extendable ladder on top of one of those. And it positions itself up and unfolds and reached up to a thing, I think it was around like 80 to 100 feet tall. And it was, it pulled itself up, and then they kind of lock it down, and then they just slap the ride vehicles onto where they're supposed to sit on. And then that was it. They were done. And I had always been wary of carnival rides, but it was kind of comforting to know that there was a lot of ingenuity that was going into some of these newer machines, and that liability was always something that they had to look at. And I, from stuff that I looked up going through theme parks and amusement parks, you have a much lower percentage, a lower amount of injuries over the lifetime of a theme park or an amusement park as routine safety inspections and stuff like that. And when something goes wrong, it goes wrong. A minor accident from somebody being like, I broke my arm, to somebody dying on your ride.
Right, but that's the beauty. Dr. Fox, don't you see that's the beauty of the
beauty of the carnival.
If you're an operator, because you're constantly moving across state lines from place to place running these things. So it's like, you just go to a different jurisdiction.
You just drop out.
Little Timmy loses an ankle or a torso, and you just go to the next state. You're out of jurisdiction. They can't touch you.
There's like a license agreement. There's like a waiver on your ticket. So it's like you get like admit one, and you show it to, they put a wristband on, and on the wristband it says,
the stamp signifies your consent.
You're willing to die. Yes.
To have body parts.
All you can ride fun passes are a pass to death. And that stuff happens.
I always, that's why, you gotta hedge your bets.
Plenty of people have gotten tore the hell up on carnival rides.
But you gotta hedge your bets, man. Like, I always go straight to my favorite one and ride it all the time, which is, of course, the tilt-a-whirl. Because on the tilt-a-whirl, you know, you're going at fairly low speeds. You're totally enclosed in a little metal cabin, so even if it breaks, you're not going to get too badly damaged.
Now you say a tilt-a-whirl, so
you feel kind of dizzy, and it's fun, you know? Doesn't need to be anything too strenuous.
What specifically is a tilt-a-whirl? Is that like the big ring that spins and
it's
keeps
a
you
ring that
against the
spins.
wall?
Sometimes it has platforms that go up and down.
Yeah.
And then each platform will have a little cabin mounted on a pivot such that it can spin freely, and by leaning and it's basically a what you would call like a chaotic kind of system where it will the spinning cabins will move in unpredictable and entertaining ways.
All right, just making sure. Yeah, okay, a gravitron. Now, is a gravitron a tilt-a-whirl? Because it doesn't tilt. It just
Gravitron
spins. Long dead
is the gravitron. That's the one where you're inside and it pushes you up against the wall.
Yeah, and you'll
That's
slide
just like a big
up
centrifuge,
on the casters. Yeah, exactly.
No, a tilt-a-whirl is much slower than that. You don't experience like that in the gravitron. You're basically just plastered to the wall by G-forces for about a minute until your heart's until you can hear your heart pounding in your ears. The tilt-a-whirl's a little bit more mild.
Okay, it's the cups spinning on the platforms, going up and down like in a wave-like motion.
It is the cups, but you're not. The cups are ones that are like manually turned. The tilt-a-whirl are just on a pivot, so they freely spin around those pivots on the platforms, as opposed to the cups, which are just sort of rotate in place. They're not as chaotic and you don't get as many G-forces with them. We
had one of those at a park that I grew up going to. So it was an installation of a tilt-a-whirl, and I forget what the name of it that they gave it. It was like the Star-Spangled Screamer or something like that. The name of the place was American Adventures, and it was a bunch of small carnival rides that had just been permanently installed. And there's
Say, Dr. Fox, did you ever see that movie from 1985? River Phoenix's film debut, The Explorers.
Is that the one with the roller coaster?
No, it's the one where the kids build a spaceship out of a tilt-a-whirl cabin.
Was Jeff Goldblum in that one?
No, it was Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix.
I didn't see that one.
As like little kids.
Should I put it on the list of
You
things?
should put that one on the list, Dr. Fox.
I've been watching movies.
Look it up. It's a great movie.
Somebody post that in the chat for me. Post me links to okay, Explorers. Oh man. Movies. I remember I had talked about the Richard Jewell movie, and then I talked about Citizen Kane with Peas. And I've been trying to catch up with
Citizen Peas?
Citizen Peas. You know, that movie about the guy who's
his last dying breath, he whispers something and he drops the little snow globe with the little Jeep inside. It shatters.
The little
pieces
Jeep.
of the Jeep go everywhere.
And dirt. It's a dirt globe. Dry dirt.
Dirt globe.
We should market that.
It's like a dust
That's actually
storm
a really
globe.
good idea. Think of we'll save so much money on not putting water in. We'll get you put a little ceramic Jeep in an empty dome with some dirt in it, and you shake it.
And it just gets the Jeep dirty?
And it's a dirt globe. Yeah, and it just gets the Jeep dirty. That's it.
Well, I was thinking, why not put the water in and then you could have, a dust storm globe, you know?
Put the water in it?
Yeah, but have dirt instead of those little plastic pellets. So it looks like there's a dust storm.
You could do,
and you're driving your little miniature, poorly painted Jeep through a miniature dirt storm.
with some big chunks of dirt. I don't
Dirt
know.
Storm. Is that a band, Dr. Fox?
I like
don't know.
dry snow globes with dirt in them. I like that one. Be really good dirt. Fine desert
Why not
dirt.
pack it in there? Why even
Paprika.
leave
It's
it in the
actually
air?
just paprika.
It's just paprika. It turns out that paprika is actually cheaper to buy in the countries where they manufacture these globes than actual dirt.
Exactly. We're ahead of the game. This is turning into a very productive product development meeting. I'm scared. I don't want to, because we're on the radio. I don't want to give away all my ideas, but I told you about my idea for my cookie shelf.
Did you?
Yeah. And so I have to develop my idea, but I feel like I have to be secret because everybody listening will steal it, and they'll claim it was theirs, and they'll get the patent, and I won't make anything. Maybe I shouldn't say anything out of fear. Is that what I should do? Should I just submit to fear? I'm thinking about it.
Nah, you can't live in fear.
All right. Well, I have to develop my
You'll lose
cookie
all your
shelf.
teeth and hair.
It's
Dr.
a shelf. It's like a plate with holes
Dr. Fox,
in it.
if you're living in fear, your shoes will squeak, and you'll lose all of your teeth and your hair.
Do your shoes squeak, or is the squeak coming from between you and the surface of the floor?
Well, naturally, it's.
I've had shoes that squeaked. I had dress shoes that squeaked, but then I had tennis shoes that squeaked on certain floors. Did you hear that? That was me shuffling.
Shuffling your cards.
You can't hear it.
Are you playing Pinochle over there again? I told you about playing these games of chance during the show, Dr. Fox. It's very unprofessional. Peas knuckles?
Yeah, I was rolling the dice. I was fine.
Those are tasty, fried up in some
peas knuckles.
Fried up in
some pickled peas knuckles, please.
Yeah.
Hey there, please. Can I have some
deep fried pickled peas knuckles?
Peas nuggets?
Yum yum.
What do you deep fry them in? Peas nuts oil?
Peas nuts oil, exactly.
Peas nuts. That sounds bad. Let's deep fry the peas. What were we selling again?
Everything and anything.
Everything.
For the right price.
All right, I'm available, ladies. You know, I'm an affordable option. You know, fellas. If the price is right, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Might be more than what I'm asking for from the ladies.
I don't know what you're saying, Dr. Fox.
I'm saying that I should do Cube News. Dun 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 dun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Orchestra hit to the max.
I gotta line up the song. I have to get the song together. But I got the Hypercube phone holders. I gotta put them on to the shop. I haven't put them on the shop yet. But now you can Zoom and Slack and Discord, not like everyone else, and you can prop up your phone with a piece of plastic with a Hypercube on it, and these amazing Hypercube phone holders. The preview.
Those are great, man. I have one of those holding up my phone when I charge it.
See, even when you're not using your phone, it comes in handy. Did you?
And then I can watch movies on there or whatever.
It's great. You can use your headphones while you use your phone, and you can put your phone in the stand. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it in the phone stand instead of stacking up books on your table to try and lean it back just the right amount.
Yeah, and it never works because the edge of your phone is like this super slick material. It's highly
and it's slick and it gets fingerprints all over it.
Right, but it never stays up at the right angle. You're always knocking it over. With this thing, it's great. It just stays at like a nice, perfect angle. You can leave it there and watch movies on a 2-inch screen. It's wonderful.
Angle. You can use it with almost any phone. And I mean that. Almost any phone. There are a lot of phones, period, and most of them will work. Probably, the ones that you have to turn a crank on, anything that
you can use it with those. You can put it on top and then put another phone in it on top of your crank phone.
Well, your crank phone is how that's how you dial up. And then you've got your rotary phone that you're going to use to access the BBS at 321-765-3289. And when you finally make it into the future, you can... What were we selling again?
Anything and everything at the right price.
You can get your phone holder on the internet, hypercubego.com. That'll show you. And it's time for a song break. We'll be right back with more time for the show. Broadcasting live on freethinkradio.com. This is time for the show. I'm Dr. Fox, your host, chilling with Chief Commando of Cosmac's Commandos. It's Commander Cosmac. What's going on,
hey.
Dr. Cosmac? Just hanging out. You can hang out with us too.
Hanging out.
And you can head on over.
Hanging out like
you can get on the Discord. Go to timefortheshow.com. Click that. We got other things you can do, and we got all kinds of different ways to scratch your itch. Brought to you by Hypercube Labs. Of course, you can check out SlackTube. You can watch videos with your friends in there at slacktube.hypercubego.com. Super easy. Just do it. Get in there. Of course, there's the Discord. You can get on Hypercom. Go to timefortheshow.com or hypercubego.com. Click the Discord button. That's a place where we post memes. Memes are fun. Make sure you join the Free Think Radio Discord and catch in on all those memes. Memes. Get to that in a little bit. Oh my God, the memes. What else do we have going on? Oh, we got the Minecraft server. You can get
They're
that.
piling up. Oh yeah, Minecraft. That game's fun. You can dig holes.
Come dig holes in real time. E-dirt for your t-shirt.
They're not real holes, but it does take real time.
The links are available on the Discord. So join the Discord and you can come into Hypercube World Land and destroy everything that we worked for. Come, we're asking for it.
Wait, did peas get eaten by a frog?
Swallowed whole, I'd imagine.
Oh God. You would have thought it would be a turtle, right?
He was trying to amend relations between frogs and turtles.
Well, he has this long-standing association with turtles. I don't know what that's all about.
Does he? I don't know.
Probably.
Well, he was supposed. We were gonna see if Pease was a liar, or at least a good one tonight, and he didn't show up, so we can't do that. And I was going to go through the last couple of weeks. I had gone through the Pizzo box, which
I'm perfectly happy judging Pease in his absence.
I'm going to come through here, and I have Chief Science Correspondent for the Executive Office of Hypercube International Science Relations for the Knowledge of Embetterment for a Good Tomorrow Now campaign. Department Dr. Commando Cosmac.
Huh?
With an A. Little Jimmy Bevel asks, how do I become a ufologist? Are there college courses?
College courses in ufology?
Well, you can get a college course in just about anything else at this point.
didn't Art Bell have a correspondence course at one point? It's like a radio course. I know he's dead now, but maybe they're still running that. I don't know.
Well, the radio moves faster. They have to wait. Nobody's graduated from the Art Bell correspondence course yet until we get the answer that bounces off the alien planet's transmitter. You know, it's got to come back, and then they're going to be like, okay, and all right, and now I'm a doctor. That'll be it. So when aliens show up, you're instantly a doctor. Did you know that? That's international treaty. That's NATO.
Also, I think maybe, what was it, University of Arizona or something? It was one of those online universities. I think they probably offer a degree in any stupid thing you could think of. But yeah, definitely ufology college courses, certainly.
It's a little Jimmy. I have another little Jimmy here.
Chase your dreams, Jimmy.
Jimmy writes.
This is a different Jimmy.
This is a different Jimmy. This is Jims.
A lot of Jims this week.
Jims Jimison. From the internet. When I was young, it felt like I skipped time. I can't remember how old I was, but sometime during early primary school, we had a trip. The day before, I was getting ready to go to bed and I sat down on my bed. It was dark outside. Then suddenly, as if someone had flipped a switch, it was daytime. I was still sat in the same position. I shared my room with my older brother and he was confused by what I told him. I've held back from telling many people about this because it just seems too strange to believe. And that's from Jims.
Well, Jims, yeah, I think what happened there is that you were clearly abducted by aliens. Although, it is also possible that you just, fell asleep.
I'm likely to believe that he was abducted by aliens and placed back because it was, when the aliens take
Those aliens gave him a really good night's sleep.
Yeah, he was recharged, he was revitalized.
They put him in the most comfortable, they put him in that same suite from 2001 with that really comfortable looking bed, and they wined and dined him and stuck a monolith up his butt.
You don't stick it up your butt. You mount it.
You don't do it, but they'll do it for you. Or it does it to you. I'm not sure.
Thank you, little Jimmy.
Haven't personally experienced it, but yeah.
All right, let me. Man, just everybody's beaming about UFO. Oh well, it was the UFO videos that the Pentagon put out to distract everybody. That was a good move. Hey everybody, check this out. And now everybody's watching the sky. We had that comet swing by last week. CO 1998, and I believe it was a comet fragment, but here we go. We're supposedly the curve is flattening, and Comet 1998 buzzed us last Wednesday, and it sounds like there's been an increase in paranormal activity, supernatural paranormal activity, extra thick activity.
Number 1998.
They've been working on it, and it looks like something's coming here. And we've got there were reports that were put out this week by the government to distract us. That, well, it wasn't reports; it was video footage of UFOs, things, objects in the sky as if they were flying, and what exactly that they were, they don't know. So what is the line for it's unidentified? How scrutinous is that line? How scrutinous? Scrupulous?
Well, I guess if I don't know, probably somebody could identify it.
What does it take to
but
make...
not you or me.
I think at one point it was unidentified if it didn't match up against anything in our registry.
They have a bunch of cards with cutouts of all the silhouettes of known aircraft, and then the operator at the
those
station.
Those little die-cut cards with the phonetic codes on
the Defense Department employee, whoever he is, he just holds up the cards to the screen one by one, and if none of them line up, then it classes.
That's what Viewmasters were invented for. Did you know that? The Pentagon developed the Viewmaster for use in intel briefings.
And then later you can play Go Fish.
Can you play Go Fish on a? Oh yeah, because you can come back around. Yeah. Play Go Fish with a Viewmaster. It's interactive. It's not.
It's educational.
I had like a whole segment on interactive things that are somewhat, and I think it's educational. It was actually part of what I was aiming for with any kind of a theme tonight, and it was like video games.
Oh no!
But yeah, join the Minecraft server. I'm not playing right now. I'm not.
What are those numbers again, Dr. Fox?
Which ones? Which numbers you want?
The ones that let you play the games.
The ones that let you play the games? Which games?
The ones on the servers.
Which? Say again now? I'm thrown off. I'm also really, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do.
I don't know. I don't even know. I really don't. That just kind of just fell into a show hole right there.
Show holes.
Well, I was trying to match up. I had like a theme going. And I have to find... we're going to look at this stuff later. But, I have to click the buttons and do the things. I have to host, and I felt like I skipped time. And I didn't know what to do. But,
quick.
Let's see, what do we have tonight?
Stop the tape.
We had the history of Forever, part 050420. Peas is fasting in the desert. That means he's just driving around really fast.
Well, no, he's not moving very fast anymore since I told you, man, he took a bunch of drugs and he left his Jeep parked without setting the brake or putting it in gear, and he rolled backwards over a fucking cliff.
Drank half a bottle of NyQuil.
And now it's at the bottom of a deep, stony ravine, and Peas is at the top just weeping.
And Peas wept. It's the shortest verse in the Hypercube Bible.
The tears of a vegetable.
Only you, tears ago. Only you. What can you do? I need more commercials that make people cry. What makes?
Oh yeah, speaking of commercials, is somebody gonna plug the soap?
I guess I might as well start plugging the soap. I need some soap plug-in music.
It makes good plugs, man. If you got some holes that need plugging, that soap works wonders. What are we talking about? It's triologysoap.com, right? Delicious glycerin soap. 4 ounces per bar. See, I could do this stuff.
You were doing it. I got the music going. I was letting you ride with it because it sounded really good, because it sounded smooth and it sounded clean. Just
I've heard
like
Peas do it so many times that I can do it myself.
A bar of Triology soaps. And you too can wash away the shame, and not just the shame, the filth, the natural filth. You can fight the filth and disease and escape a lifetime of pain and suffering that will be cut short due to your recklessness of not appreciating the value of Triology Soaps, a product of TriologySoaps.com, featuring soaps that you can use to wash your hands and body and face. Don't touch your face with unclean hands. Don't touch the faces of others with your hands without first introducing them to a thick bar of Triology soap that you can purchase at TriologySoaps.com and have mailed to your house. You can use coupon code COVID-19 for 19% off of Triology Soaps, available at TriologySoaps.com. Tell them Peas didn't show up.
Dr. Fox, you know, if they sign the non-disclosure agreement, you can even eat the soap and it tastes great.
You can't tell anybody how delicious the soap is, unfortunately. But trust me, that's why you buy it. If you buy it to eat it, get the bleach flavor.
Why do you think it comes in all those different flavors, man? It smells nice, but really, if you want the full experience, you should definitely eat the Triology soap. Although that is just my personal opinion,
we need the Gusher soap. We need like a bar of soap with goo. We need like the goo inside the soap bar. Like
Orbits?
Yeah, like just floating goo soap. Give me the soap.
I saw a bottle. Dr. Fox, I saw a bottle of Orbits for sale on the internet the other day.
Yeah.
Like a 23-year-old bottle of Orbits.
Okay, so not like a new one, an old one.
No, it was like an unopened bottle of Orbits from like 1998 or whatever.
And
I was looking at this and I was thinking, why would anybody want that?
Because you remember that drink with the stuff in it?
You can't consume something that old, right?
Oh, sure you can.
Well,
buy it for, hell, buy it, send it to Peas, and then ask him how good it was.
Well, I would have, but it was like $90.
$90?
Yeah, well, you try finding an unopened bottle of Orbits, man.
Was the stuff still floating in it? Like the little balls?
It looked like it was. It looked like it had little balls floating in it. I have no idea how that stuff retained any kind of molecular integrity after this many years of
it's become
whatever chemical actions.
Slurry.
But it didn't look like it didn't look like a good color. It didn't look like something you'd want to put into your body or even into your home. And so I was wondering, what kind of psychotic lunatic who would want to own a 20-year-old bottle of a soft drink that was already barely disgusting even when it was fresh? It just doesn't add up. I've
got a couple of souvenir bottles from the Coca-Cola Museum. I think I have some from they've got the year 2000. I got them from that year. I got glass bottles featuring the year 2000, and then a couple I think from just visits in between. And you can drink the Coke out of it, and you still got the bottle. But I've still got all of mine closed because ideally I didn't want to damage the bottle cap. I was going to try and keep that intact as well as possible. So all of these bottles of Coke are still sealed, and you can see, over the years, it's like a little. Well, I've gotten into putting things in jars. I'm not minding quarantine. Before quarantine, I was putting things in jars, and now I feel I've been able to turn my house into an incredible environment where we'll never have to leave for anything. Soon it will rain from the ceilings, and we will harvest the dew. We're doing fine. Hold on.
Oh, there it goes. pop a rivet, you blow a gasket,
We got it.
valves opened.
We got it. The valves are open. Shout outs to our Patreon supporters, Dr. Cosmac on the show.
You can't
Dr.
shout me
Trent.
out when I'm on the show, dude.
I can if I totally bypass you and then go on to be like, because he's like on the show.
That's not cool,
Yeah.
man.
Well, then what do you want to be on, like the side? Do you need like the featured position?
No, I mean, just don't mention me at all if I'm already here.
You're already here. Because you're that good. Exactly. Moving on, Dr. Trench, Reverend Codeine, Scowl Pod, not here. Reverend Caltsot, the Posse X Fenord, Caller 23, not here. Hazel of the Windmills was in Minecraft last night. YB Dobbs, dropped off, didn't pay, don't care. Martha Artha, thank you. And Dr. Ellis, Freethinker Radio, thank you. Reverend Richard Negative, handsome boy. Agent Lloyd, long dead, in the chat. Reverend 80, somewhere.
Wait, Agent Lloyd died?
Agent Lloyd, long dead.
Is that like a headline?
Click that at timefortheshow.com. That's actually a good headline. We'll put that one in. Agent Lloyd, long dead. Reverend Jitney Fakur. I don't know. Vanessa Guru Drew Catan 007. These people that have done stuff, on the show. You do the show things. Do the show. Do the show. Come play Minecraft. Woo! Yeah! Yeah. All right. It's time for Hypercube Master Piece Theater. You like that? Did I scare you?
His fault. He's gonna have a lot to apologize for next time.
He's going to. I've lost it. I've been bad. I haven't been managing anything properly tonight, and I'm
hope to manage peas.
And I wish Peas understood. I understand that Peas is mad at me. Peas, if you're listening to this, I just want you to know, I know that you're mad at me. Okay? I know.
Salty peas.
And now it's time for our next hyper segment, featuring your friend from the internet future, Piddlywibbles.
Tonight's interactive topic is brought to you by
Video games.
something not
Being able to decipher for many ages.
Where are you on video games?
Stand by. Video games are a form of entertainment invented by the Chinese sometime between the Cheech and Chong dynasties. These interactive digital e-medias are believed to have been developed for military training or even virtual dating simulations. When Japan decided it wanted to murder thousands of Americans, they not only brought a barrage of hellfire, but also introduced the world to the concept of real-time PvP environments. No more of this line up to die shit. We're just going to blast you from every angle, every moment, every side, every opportunity that we have when we're there. This was documented in the historical video game 1942 by Capcom in the early 1950s. Thanks to transistors, computers were able to go from refrigerator size to icebox size. In 1961, at least 3 nerds who joined the Model Train Club, one of them named Bob, logged enough time on the school's Digital Equipment Corporation's program Data Processor 1 to develop Space War.
This game was the first meme, and it took off to anyone that owned a PDP-1. In 1972, Magnavox dropped the next bomb with the Odyssey, scoring another win back for America. It even had a gun. In 1973, Xerox developed the Alto as a complete personal computer, including keyboard, mouse, monitor, and network support, featuring Alto Trek, a local multiplayer PvP space shooter beginning the great PC versus console war. From 1972 onwards, console makers expanded, each offering their own unique interpretation of the one-on-one paddle wheel classic Pong. General Instrument sold Pong on a chip to any interested buyer at a low cost, which resulted in the first home console boom. Sales of 350,000 consoles in 1975 led to 5 to 6 million in 1977, just in the United States market alone, which became oversaturated, much like its consumer base, and the market collapsed. Simultaneously, the ARPANET allowed nerds with a few early computer mainframes over long distances the ability to share files, creating the early file sharing scene. For mainframe owners with CRT displays, several games were available for your download, including RPGs, because they'll work a JRR or JRRRR. Tolkien, JRRPG, Tolkien. Hunt the Wumpus, the first survival horror game. In desperation, the Japanese developed their own weapons of mass destruction. Mechanical and shooting game Taito designer Tomohiro Nishikado would eventually have his fill slipping on pachinko balls and developed Space Invaders. By 1979, 200,000 Invader games, including clones and knockoffs, were in Japanese arcades. American traders Midway licensed and moved over 60,000 cabinets to America, allowing our defenses to be infiltrated. To compensate, American company with a Japanese name, Atari, counteracted with Asteroids, which featured the idea of high scores developed by Exidy's Starfire game. Japanese mechanical rocking horse manufacturer Namco slapped us in the dick with Galaxian and the eventually to be the first and only well-considered sequel to anything ever, Galaga, in 1981. In 1980, Namco fucked up by releasing games with recognizable characters and released Buckman, attracting women, the first casual gamers, to arcades. Despite having to scrape hand lotion and glitter off of joysticks, the $2.8 billion coin-op industry would then double to $4.9 billion in 1981, the year before bubblegum company Nintendo released Donkey Kong, further allowing the Japanese to infiltrate our markets. Meanwhile, in the basements and garages of America, nerds that got scared by girls in the arcades pushed to develop ways to fantasize about Miss Pac-Man from home. Apple had released the Apple II, the sequel to Steve Wozniak's invention of price markups. The limited series of aptly named Apple Ones, Commodore launched the successful PET in the 70s, which led to the VIC-20 and 64, while allied competitors from Cambridge, Sinclair would infiltrate the PAL market with the ZX1. The Japanese had taken this approach too, with NEC and Sharp going ball to ball with Microsoft and the MXX, a popular American-made system in the Japanese region.
So that's like the history of video games. Thank you, Piddlywibbles. That was great. Have a great evening. You can meet Piddlywibbles. He is your friend every day. Minecraft. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. No, go ahead. A little more. We'll be back. You're listening to Time for the Show. It's a show where we're all gooding. Understandable. So yeah, you can't hear Piddlywibbles in the Discord. That happens. You know, it's because of the system. It's the system. But we're back. We're back on Time for the Show. We were talking about.
Raring to go.
We were just lectured about how basically it seems like the Japanese attacked America, and then they made video games to cover up for that. And
so it's like the video games as vengeance conspiracy theory. Yeah, I've heard that one.
It's fair enough.
Did you ever hear the theory that Alexei Pazitnov was commissioned to create Tetris by like the KGB as a way to
decrease productivity and like the
productivity of Western workers? Yeah, it's a great game. Really fun, really addictive too.
It's a good game that I can pick up anytime, as long as it's Tetris, as long as it's the Tetris that's designed,
as opposed to
any other version
like
of
any
Tetris.
other falling block game. Like,
well, I had tried a couple.
Tetris plus on up to like fucking.
There was Tetris World. There's like
Candy Crush,
Tetris Sphere, and then there was like Tetris in Space. There was Leisure Suit Tetris. There was Tomb Raider with Tetris expansion DLC pack. Tetris Mine, a very popular
Indiana
game.
Jones and the Temple of Tetris.
One of those Tetris Arts games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my favorite was the Telltale Tetris, and that was one where every time that a block was going to move forward, it was going to stop and go through like a dialogue tree with all the other blocks around it, and be like, I think I want to fall here. Oh, I don't care. I think I want to fall here. Oh, I don't care. It was a very limited dialogue tree. A lot of, you can only have so many variations for now, whatever. Please stop. What good is it to yell please stop when they're already coming at you, you know?
Is that what the Tetris pieces yell at you now? Please stop.
That's what they've always yelled. If you're up with the cannon in the back of the original.
I can't anthropomorphize a chunk of pixels. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're not pixels, they're bricks. You know, they're bricks falling into the wall, the foundation of any
like
good regime.
The more you build it, the more it goes away. It's an eternal Sisyphean task.
Well, the more until you fuck up, and then the wall cannot continue to be built. I mean, so that's communism. We're gonna pay for you to build this wall forever.
No, it's like it's making some kind of statement about like creativity, where it's like if you don't fuck up a little bit, you'll never finally achieve anything. If you do it perfectly from the start, nothing results. right?
If you do nothing from the start, you don't get any results, but you will be penalized for not attempting. You know, you're not just a loser, you're a quitter.
Right, but the real master of Tetris is not somebody who can keep the screen clear, but somebody who can, like, arbitrarily, by manipulating the game, can just put in whatever shape they want and have it say, you know, have it spell out a dirty word or whatever.
And you could do that in Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft makes it a lot easier.
You just hide yourself with blocks. That's what I'm saying. But get on the Minecraft. Get on it. Go on. Do it. Let's see. So yeah, the Japanese invented.
What are the numbers for that Minecraft again, Dr. Fox? You never did answer my question.
Well, I was actually what I had said earlier in the show, which I had music playing, which you might not have been able to hear. But if you would like the numbers for that, go to our Discord and get them in the GameCube. See, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it pinned, because by the time this becomes a podcast, who knows, the numbers might be different. Got to be prepared for that. But the server that's available is in the GameCube room on the time for the show Hypercom. So it's over there. Yeah, that's where those numbers are at. You can get them there. Let's see. Video games are a form of entertainment invented by the Chinese sometime between the Chechen and Chong dynasties. Military training, real-time PvP environment. So yeah, the Chinese invented video games. The Japanese really got good of it, and they took us to town with it. But then we were able to get transistors, and that changed the game. That's pretty much what the entire the summary here is with transistors you get video games. But over time, I think the general theme of the Piddlywibbles moment in personal history segment was
which I couldn't hear any of, by the way.
I understand, and I apologize for that on his behalf. I didn't do anything wrong. It was him.
That's fine.
Well, it says here, in the early 1950s, thanks to transistors, computers were able to go from refrigerator size to icebox size, which is true. That is a true fact. In 1961, at least 3 nerds who joined the Model Train Club at MIT, one of them named Bob, got on their school's Digital Equipment Corporation's Program Data Processor 1 to develop Space War. And the only reason anybody heard about it was because, like, some other school that got tons of money had a PvP1.
Right, and I was using, like, an oscilloscope as the display, where they just had vector graphics.
And it was a it barely, I wouldn't even say graphics, because I believe that it still had a like a teletype system over on the side. I don't know I think it printed. And
wasn't there an early game where they hooked up a computer to like an oscilloscope as the graphics?
That's the idea with Space War, is that it's got it had an oscilloscope, and as it would sweep, you were able to see where I think the other ships were. And so that was basically the first computer game that got popular. There's possibly something else, but the idea would be that anybody that had a computer, the amount of time that you'd have to dedicate to making a game, you know, you have to share hours on the computer. From the very beginning, before your library ever had, you know, the mistake of putting in computers and allowing anybody to use them, you'd have to sign up for time to use the computer, and so it would be difficult to do that. But it came down to the PDP-1, and it was a smaller system, really, comparatively. If you see in the movies where you have the walls of, you know, memory on tape and a giant hard drives, giant electromagnetic hard drives and stuff like this. This thing really was the size of like 2 ice boxes instead of like 6 refrigerators.
PP1's still fairly large, including the terminal and the teletype and
It's
stuff.
fairly, large compared,
It fills a
compared
large
to today.
room. Especially if you have data banks for it, like a tape machine and stuff.
But yeah, it was able to, it made it more economical for people to have more time on the computer. Because you'd be able to afford one, and then if you have another mainframe computer and stuff like that. So, a bunch of nerds got time on the computer and made their nerd game. And because other institutions had this commercially available product, the Digital Equipment Corporation PDP-1, if you had a PDP-1, you could play Space War on it. And that's really what I think the defining moment was, is like if you could play it with somebody else. And that came in quick after that. There was notes about Magnavox gets credit as the first console, and they released that here in the States. It's a U.S. company, big U.S. Woo! Go
What
U.S.
console was that, Dr.
That was the Odyssey, scoring another win back for America. It even had a gun. Did you know that?
I did not know
The
that.
Odyssey had a gun. It didn't come with a gun. You had to purchase the gun separately, and the gun came with 4 more games.
Hey, you want to know what was the worst console made by an American company?
Go for it.
It was the RCA Studio 2.
Yeah, that
didn't have
didn't even
any
show up on
controllers.
like
It
the
was just
list
a
that I had
console.
earlier.
It was just a console, and you had like a pair of like telephone keypads that were permanently attached to the console, and that's how you played the games.
Well, let's see, what was it here? In 1973, Xerox developed the Alto, and it was a complete personal computer, not necessarily even like a workstation. It's kind of forming.
The Altoid, did you say?
The Xerox Altoid, because it had a big metal pan on it.
And it smelled like mints.
But this was a computer with a keyboard, a mouse, a monitor, and network support.
And a delicious mint flavor.
And there was a local multiplayer PvP space shooter on it. That's pretty cool. So you have kind of the first packaged computer to come out from an established manufacturer, and they're able to play a video game. I think it was the only game on it. But if no one else is on the network, you were out there in space alone. And it was just a couple of simple vector graphics and a couple of data readouts, and you'd play as either, I think it was like Romulans, Klingons, and Terrans. And so Star Trek stuff, Altoid Trek.
Yeah, what a bunch of nerds.
So yeah, and 2 nerds made the game that would be on the big nerd box. Meanwhile, who was it? General Instrument. How's that for you? Sold Pong on a chip to anyone that wanted.
Yeah.
And it oversaturated the market with cheap consoles. And it went from sales of 350,000 consoles in 1975 to 5 to 6 million in 1977, and it was all fucking Pong. So 6 million Pong owners can be right. They've had enough. Yes, you can get tired of Pong. But let's see here. There were, if you had mainframe access, that's where, ARPANET came in, and they were able to share files over the telephone line. And they could share role-playing games and Hunt the Wumpus and a couple of things like just simple games like that. But if you had a computer with a CRT at the time, even still, if it was just text graphics, you were able to move that stuff back and forth. So major advancements continue. You know, you're heading towards the internet at this point. But you have an intranet between
I remember
mainframes.
playing text adventure games. Those were fun. Do you remember those, Dr. Fox?
Which ones?
Zork.
I had played one.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There was one based on that. I had a ton of them. They were all by Infocom. I had them on an old Macintosh.
I've played the Infocom Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah,
and
that game is insane.
Yeah, I had to end up like following, like, you know, go to like cheat.
There's no way you could possibly deduce.
No, there's not. It was
many of the puzzles in those types of games.
It doesn't make
and that was
any
kind
sense.
of the fun of it.
It was really, really hard. Everything
But the cool
kills you.
thing was that those games used to come with what were called feelies, which would be like
touchy feelies?
Some little object or like a button or a pen or something that was like, you know, like, oh, this is a scrap of parchment that's also an item in the game, or like this is a pen that's like also something that you have in the game. So it was like you had this real little object that was like some part of this fictional universe. It would come in the box for these text adventures that Infocom produced, and they were called feelies. It's a pretty neat futuristic concept.
So for your free feely, head on out to 6428 Dobie Peak Drive and get your free.
6428.
Go get your free Peace Feely. Brought to you. Tell them Hypercube sent you. But no, the Japanese started like blowing up arcade cabinets. But yeah, you have like the role-playing games and stuff like that would be inspired. You know, go on to like LucasArts games and Sierra games in the 80s and things like that. That was the late end. Everything that I'd gotten up to was basically a lot of going back and forth between Japan and America, in which companies made pretty much the only money that they made was in importing Japanese games. And then Japan really just started making...
RCA could have done it, man. We could have had RCA.
Well, they had
doing stuff. They practically invented CMOS microprocessors. They could have done this stuff.
They had like a home system they were working on, right?
New Jersey's own RCA Laboratories could have been the heart. Could have been the true Silicon Valley, but no.
The handsome boys of science.
Yeah, they were too busy working on the capacitance electronic disc.
A wave of the future. I believe Caller 23 has one of those.
Yes, he does. He had one that was... What was the title of his?
I forget, but he told me he had a laser disc. And
it wasn't a laser disc, though. It was a capacitance electronic
well, then if he's...
disc.
So he's just calling me a liar now. Now I'm just a liar. But
no,
yeah,
you were right. It's not a laser disc. I've seen it. It comes in a cartridge.
It's a CED.
And it works on a completely different principle.
Mm-hmm.
Whereby
it's phonographic.
Rather than a laser reading little reflective pits or grooves in a thing without touching it, CED actually has a needle like a record player. The grooves are much finer than like a record, but it works on the same thing, and it actually moves through capacitance and senses capacitance as the needle moves, and the disc is actually electrically charged as it spins. And it's a very, very poorly... Well, it was a really incredible piece of engineering, but just a terrible design from the get-go, because it physically interacts with the disc. So as you play these things, they get more and more worn out until finally it's like a record, it gets scratchy and old, and then finally it won't play. And I believe the video resolution was inferior to even VHS. So
No, I actually think it was supposed to be pretty fair, but it all
For
comes
a
down.
brand new disc, though, once you'd played it,
Yeah, once you played it a couple of times and came down,
much less good quality. Because again, it was like reading grooves in a disc with a needle. It was kind of an insanely retrogressive technology.
Aggressive in the home market. RPGs in you can't do an RPG in an arcade. You know, and that's you know, you kind of give it up over to those computers and consoles like that. You're able to play a longer
Well, you can.
game.
You just need to find a place where there's people who have a lot of quarters and free time.
That's that would be asteroids, and just feeding all of your money into that, just line up quarters. I'd seen that in a couple of movies. I never really went to the arcade when I was a kid because it was.
Watch that movie Tron, Dr. Fox.
It's not real. Where they line the quarters up like My Game's Next. Do they do that in Tron?
Yeah, well, no, like Jeff Bridges, he has a line where he says, like, oh yeah, the kids are putting 8 million quarters a week into the space paranoids machines.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's all about who had the quarters.
And but you had to have something that would bring them in. And it took something like high scores for people to start really getting competitive with video games. And then where was it over here? Namco, Japanese, released Puckman, which attracted women to the arcades. And so then you've got all of a sudden these sweaty, disgusting teenage boys playing their video games in their filthy, illicit dens of acne and body hair, and all of a sudden the girls want to come and play Pac-Man because he's cute. Pac-Man's cute. Oh, look at that. There's a Miss Pac-Man, bitch, and it has a story. And that brought people in. That was his. Yeah, Miss Pac-Man has a story.
Was that translated from Miss Puckman?
Mrs. Puckman. By the time that it would have been, yeah.
Mrs. Puckman.
I think I don't know what her premarital, but I don't know what her premarital. I don't know. What's her surname? Her maiden name. I don't know Mrs. Pac-Man's maiden name because they're married. But the game of Miss Pac-Man tells the story of how they came together and ate ghosts and fruit, and that made $5 billion in 1981. So you have to. It all became around, you know, who's got the quarters? The ladies have the quarters. And from then on, all video games were marketed to women. And little boys have been upset about that since 1981.
It's a long time.
It's a long time to be upset with women. But
yeah.
Solidarity, brothers. We'll make it. One day. We'll get away from them. We'll figure out paradise. Can't live with them. Can't stand them. Okay, what do we got on the show? So yeah, that's the video. Yeah, the Japanese video game domination. You know, I got a shout out to Sinclair from Cambridge and their ZX line. I said ZX because that's how they say it. I could have called it ZX. But one thing that I enjoy taking. I had looked into an MSX. Are you familiar with these, Dr. Cosmac?
There's some system from the 80s. I'm not real familiar with.
It was a Microsoft. Yeah, it was a Microsoft computer and system, and it was very popular in Japan. It was just
right. It was big in Japan. I don't think it was as well known in the United States.
But we were pimping it. That it was even at that time, it was still Microsoft and an American company, and they had gotten something in over there. But we were picking up. It was kind of at the same time. It was NEC and Sharp, and
Sharp had some really cool products out in the early 80s. They made a little computer that was like a pocket computer.
They did have a lot of that. You could
actually program in BASIC, and through the BASIC routines, and you could actually program it in assembly. And it had a speaker. I actually wrote a program for it. You could play music on it, on this pocket calculator. It was great.
It had a speaker?
It had like a little piezoelectric buzzer, yeah, and
nice.
You could turn on and off through software.
Yeah, I've got a toy. I'd have to go and get it, so I'll get it some other time. But it's my Mini Wizard, my VTech Mini Wizard from like 19. I think the copyright date on the bottom is 85. And I've had it since I was a kid. But it's got a music maker on it, and it has like I think you can get like up to 8 notes. I don't know any musical terminology whatsoever, but you can do a nice little song, and you program it in, and there's keys for, here's a rest, and write music on it. And then it had you could use it to play Simon Says and stuff like that. So that's where I was in the 80s. I was playing with little kids' toys, and that's kind of where I went for a long time. But I had been interested by the MSX for a while. You're able to. I've seen a couple on eBay. They don't go for too much, but there's plenty of emulators out, and I think I have one. I just haven't played with it yet. I like that Apple ended up making bank on the Apple II, and from the very beginning, that was really their first commercial computer, because the first set, the Apple I, they made like 250 of them.
Yeah, those were all handmade, like PCBs that.
And so they stuck with it. And they call their first massive product the Apple II. But that kicked it off.
Sure. Well, you never. That's like basic marketing 101. You never want
exactly. Well, and he sold it for $666.66. And he said he liked, charging a third over market value. So that was his motivation to build computers, was to sell. And then Commodore had the PET in the 70s, and the 64 and the VIC-20. And I only know only emulation level stuff of that is any of that. Well,
I've owned both the Commodore 64 and a VIC-20, and neither of them worked. So I don't think they're the most durable units. But who knows about that is Reverend Sim Faltimus.
He does.
He's a big Amiga
He's
fan.
An Amiga boy, I know.
But he also has C64s and other things.
Yeah.
How about that Texas Instruments? You got any love for the TI-99A?
That was that was early 80s stuff. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I really am not.
You know what my favorite Microsoft product was the last one that Bill Gates actually wrote the code for, which was the operating system for the Tandy Radio Shack 80 Model 100, which is a portable laptop computer from 1981.
It's a portable laptop computer?
It's a laptop. It's about the size of like a textbook. And it runs on 4 AA batteries.
And it's a Tandy. I know we had a couple of things. When I grew up, we had I think I asked my dad about it. I think it was a 5150 or an IBM 5150 or a 5155. And it had like 2 dual density drives or whatever it was. and but it had the screen. I believe it was triple color screen. I think you could do amber, green, or white on that, and he would leave just like some vector art, some like little diamond just spinning on it in green. And that was, I don't know where that went after that. And I had pretty much stuck with computers from that point on. He built the computer that I first learned how to use, which the guy on Lazy Game Reviews has like a great clone of. He's got like the same case, and it's a 486 processor, and I think it was like we had Windows 3.1 on it at the time, and I think a 40 megabyte hard drive. My dad loaded it full of games and stuff like that, so I enjoyed going through these little batch files that he had made that would list everything out, these menus and stuff, and go back and forth and playing on those. And I wanted a Super Nintendo because it had Mario Paint, and that was where I really started liking Nintendo for games. It was fun. I got a Sega Genesis, and I got 2 games for it, and I never really ever rented anything. I never really played it. As I got older, I found some stuff, but the only reason anyone ever seemed to have a Sega Genesis was to play Mortal Kombat, because it had the blood.
I never liked those games.
We got a Nintendo 64, and we got it for Christmas, but I really feel like my dad got it for him because he jumped on GoldenEye, and we played that a lot, and I enjoyed that. We had friends with a PlayStation, didn't play PlayStation, didn't really care for it too much. It was frustrating. A lot of the games were frustrating for a little kid. Nintendo was where it was at. They're optimized for little kid hands and little kid brains. And we got older and kept getting computers. And I remember around the time I was 10 or so, we had a computer club at school. We built my computer at the club and took it home and got it going. And I was hooked on that, and I never really ran back to consoles. I got a GameCube, and I had a bunch of games on the GameCube, and at that point I was in high school, and so you had friends coming over, and you can't play on your computer with your friends when they're over at your house. See, that's what the Nintendo was for, and that was the fun stuff. That's where like Smash Brothers and stuff was going. It was after school fun, going up against Jeff, the Halo King. So this guy's a fucking dope. And yeah, you have to.
Jeff?
Yeah, literal. Yeah, we had a guy that I in high school got a video game club started, and it was one of the largest fucking clubs on campus. We had like 45, 50 members, and we'd meet on campus after school, and we tried to stay with. We got away with doing video games and stuff like that. Kids would bring in their computers, and we would have LAN games, and we'd bring in a PS2 and an N64 and GameCube, stuff like that. We'd play video games after school, and that was the engaging part of it. And I forget where I was going with this. I was just starting to wax nostalgic about hanging out after school playing video games. But yeah, there was a guy named
Don't worry, we only have to fill 13 more minutes.
Yeah, we'll make it. Jeff, he's like, I'm the best at Halo. And at this point, let's see, when did Halo come out? For anybody in the chat, nerds.
Probably like after the year 2000.
I think it was like right at 2000, 2001. So at this point, it's like 2004, 2005. Game's been out for years. And he's like, oh, he's saying, I'm the best. And we get in and play this game, and what had happened is you go to the one map everyone goes to, which is the big one, the Blood Gulch map, and then he would, run from the spawn point, get a sniper rifle, and then he would find a spot in the wall, and he would hide in between, two areas. He was able to shoot out, but if you shot at him, he wouldn't take any damage.
Well, how dare he take advantage of something in the game?
Well, exactly. So exactly, it was.
How dare he do that?
And
That's clearly unfair.
he's the first person to get to it, and he's able to hold it and stuff like that. And there are ways you have to get down, but he's going to have an advantage. So it's like, all right, well, obviously you know what you're doing, because it wouldn't be right to just chastise him for, taking advantage of this opportunity and exploiting that. Some people might say it's cheap, but besides the point, it's in the game. Anyone can do it, technically. So we ended up moving to another map and another game mode, and it was basically tag. And there's no sniper rifles or no anything like that. And I remember, here's where I get my point. I beat him. I beat him in one round of just any other game. And I wasn't good at video games at the time. I still am not good at video games at all. And I beat him. And he just started whining and complaining. I don't want. Can we go back? Can we play something else? I don't like this game mode. I don't like this. He had lost one round, and I got to take him down a peg, Jeff, the Halo King. Well
deserved.
It was nice. It was at the club meeting too, so everyone sees it and they see him that he's embarrassed and blah blah blah. It's nice. So you don't really shame anybody, but yeah, that was Jeff. That was Jeff. I'm bad at video games. I'm not saying that I'm good because I beat Jeff. I'm saying that if Jeff lost to me, he is not good at video games. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I am bad. Some people are worse. But yeah, I like the video games. That's why I've been liking Minecraft so much. I have a feeling that's what I'm gonna do when the show is over. Let's see what we had. Other than waxing my candle, it looks like you escaped me reading erotic comic book fan fiction.
Oh man, I was really looking forward to that part. Oh well.
Because it was a lengthy story. And I don't have would you do the score? Do you have do you have a synthesizer hooked up that you can play along?
No.
Do a radio play.
No, I'm afraid you're gonna have to pick your own backing tracks, Dr. Fox.
Detective Pikachu lemon fan fiction. I guess.
Oh no. You can't read that on the radio. Not even on Canadian internet radio would they put up with such things.
Let's see what we got.
Show me what you got.
All right, let's do Proving Grounds and roll this thing out. Trump admin modeling predicts daily coronavirus death nearly doubling.
Oh, God.
Demonstrated with series of dominoes, matchstick cars, and shiny golden wafers. Yeah.
Are they real gold or just chocolate?
Let's see. Just everything's disease and anti-Semitism. Come on. Let's go to technology news. Apple updates 13-inch MacBook Pro with Magic Keyboard, double the storage and faster performance. They actually went with the name Magic for something, because it's capital M. Apple now selling Magic. I don't even know. This is frustrating.
Going for the Disney crowd, man.
It's for the Disney crowd, for the Pixar shareholders.
Right. They want a little magic in their computers.
Oh, here we go. Donkey Kong legend suing over wiped scores. He took
what did
his
they wipe
scores.
them with?
Yeah, exactly.
Or were they covered
he picked
with
up his scores
wiping?
and he threw them back. It's about that Billy Mitchell, big man, Billy Mitchell. He's a cheater. Don't cheat at video games. Everyone will make fun of you forever. All right, yeah, that's good enough. Fucking Jeff. Okay.
When you cheat at video games, you only
I'm
really...
Bobby Garrett Ferguson.
Huh?
It's a joke. Don't worry about it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 community creates touching tribute for devs.
I don't want...
I don't want to be touched by the Battlefront community.
I don't want to be touched by that community. Or those devs.
Well, yeah, exactly. Devs respond. Social distancing. Stand back. That's good. I think you arrived at it eventually. Yeah, we got that one. Why 5G will give the iPhone 12 an advantage over every Android phone.
Now with 50% less coronavirus, I don't know.
Show me what you
Tired
got.
of this shit.
We'll burn down a cell phone. Hear that, America? Go burn down an Apple store. Take it to the source. Here, Kitty is an adorable way to pass the time while staying at home. It sounds like a euphemism for like some sort of creepy sex game. Everything is sex. Apple CEO Tim Cook, what to read to put these times into perspective. Anything on a retina screen. Boom. Copyrighted retina. Nintendo Wii source code, documents, and more allegedly leaked. Suspect hacker Big DK Fan 69 in Mario Kart with 1 million points. You would hear this, but you have AirPods in, so you can't hear me. Oh man, I think that was good. That was.
I like what you got. Good job.
That was nice. Thank you, Big Gary Bobbitt Ferguson. You know, I'd like to apologize. Let everybody know that I'm sorry, and I feel bad, and that's what you wanted this entire time.
I don't think you should have to apologize, especially since Pease isn't here.
Well,
I mean, it's really
I know that they want me to hurt, and that my pain is what pleases them. And so that's why I'll apologize, is to give them what they've been waiting for. You know, they think that they've suffered through listening to Time for the Show, but they've barely begun to not think about what suffering really is. I'm sorry about offending Dr. Cosmac because he's handsome. I'm sorry Pease wasn't here. I'm sorry that Caller 23 hasn't put out a podcast, but you can hear Getting to Show You on freethinkradio.com. I'm sorry to the Patreons. You're sorry. I'm sorry to everyone in like a 50-foot range of me for like the next 72 hours. I'm just kind of hold it out there. That's an apology bubble. You can get in there and just kind of soak that up. I'll just weep for 72 hours. I want to apologize for the show, for wasting time on freethinkradio.com. And I want to apologize for being prepared and having things to do and talk about and stuff like that. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that Pease is out in a snow globe somewhere. And we have to retrieve his soul from a wizard in the desert. So you have to help me retrieve the Pease snow globe. Otherwise, he will die. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm sorry that you haven't joined us on the Minecraft server.
Yeah, you should get on that server.
You should get on that Minecraft server and go to timefortheshow.com, click the Discord button, go to the GameCube, and get on that. Join us in SlackTube, watch Mr. Science Theater and play Servo, and lots of cartoons and animes with your waifu, and Quarantainment Heaven at SlackTube. Follow us on Facebook at Time for the Show, at Twitter at Time for the Tweet, and get your stickers, and soon the phone holders at hypercubego.com. Thanks to everybody for coming out to the show. You're a bunch of pretty Jim Dandy fellas, and I want to tickle your hoo-haws with my fancy. Dr. Cosmac, you have anything to say to the children of the night?
Help, I'm being killed by a zombie.
All right, let's go play Minecraft. Good night, everybody.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.